Hello and welcome to my channel. So today's video is a requested tutorial from one of our subscribers. I am going to be showing you how to achieve this top that you are seeing on the screen. So if it's something you're interested in, please keep on watching. If this is your first time here, please click on the subscribe button so that you can join the family. This is my fabric now, so this is just for the tutorial sake. I'm just working with the fabric that I have. So this is 2.5 inches here. I folded it in, and then I folded my fabric into two, like this. So my fabric is folded into two, but there's another 2.5 inches that is folded under. This is what we have. So I'm drawing a line at the top here to guide me. So for the fabric to put on fold should be your biggest measurement, your bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch of ease, and then another 1.5 inch for seam allowance. So that is what you have on fold. So I just came up with a random figure here and I am rolling it down like so. So this is now our fabric on fold. Next, now for the length, it depends on where you want it to stop. It's a cropped shirt, so should be somewhere around your half length or slightly below. Whatever it is, you add 1 inch to that and mark it. Then for the back, you're going to add another 1 inch because the back is supposed to be longer than the front by at least 1 inch. So do that and mark it like so. So we'll go ahead now and cut out these two pieces, one for our front shirt, the other for the back. So both the front and the back have extra 2.5 inches added to them that is folded under. So this is it. I'm going ahead to cut out this length part. This is the front, this is the back. Back is longer. So I'm going ahead now to mark out 1 inch, that 1 inch that we added extra. I'll mark it and roll it out. Then I'll place the front piece on top of that line. This is the extension that is folded in, as you can see, for both the front and the back. Okay, so I have placed them like this. I'm going to mark the neck 2.5 inches. So some people use 3 inches for their neck width. I don't know, I'm on the big side and 3 inches is way too much for me. It's always bigger for me, so I stick to 2.5 inches. So I'm marking the armhole now. Like I said, this is just for tutorial purposes, so I don't have, just mark your own armhole at that point, but make sure you're starting from the front piece. Don't mark anything from the back piece. So I came down by half inch and I'm connecting back to that 2.5 inches for the neck depth, the neck width. And then on the armhole, I'm coming in by 1/4 inch and then I am connecting back to the top and also curving the rest like so. So next, now from that slant, I will now mark 1 inch up, and then at this point also, which is exactly what we have, and just slant it for the back. Then for the neck depth also, I mark 3 inches for the neck depth. For this one, I mark 3 inches, and then I will just go on and curve it like so. This is for the front. Then for the back, I'll just open it up and just come down by half inch from that line, and then I will curve it out like so. This will now be our back neck line plus the extension. So first I'm cutting the slant for the back, and then the armhole we are cutting together both the front and the back. Then for the neck now, I'm going to lift only the front piece and then cut out the neck for the front and also the slant for the front. Then I'll now go on and mark the neck for the back. So the back is going to fall over the front like that at the end of the day. So go ahead and cut this out like so. This is what we have so far. Next, now I will open this up and cut it out. Like just open it up into two. Remember, it is on fold, it's still on fold, so open it up so you have two pieces like this. This is the front. So these are my two front pieces. Next, now we're going to go fold this half inch and place it at the midpoint and then iron using hemming gum. For the back piece, this is it. So this line that is creased, that is where our center front is. So we're just going to mark 1.5 inches in and then connect that to the edge of that neckline like so. This is so to get the whole back opening thing going on. So we're going to cut this out. I went ahead to cut like so. And then we are going to overlap them, making sure the center point sits on top of each other. So this is not as open as I want. Yours may be open because this is just a makeshift. This thing is quite small, so I'm just going back to adjust it so that I have the opening looks similar to what we have on the thumbnail. So I did this, but I also don't want it to be so open on the down part. So I'm going to extend it, but just still maintain that 1.5 inch I went in and just connect it back. So I've gone ahead to cut that out and then I'm overlapping, and now it is, at least it looks better now, and I like how it is looking at this point. So I'm just using my pins to hold the midpoints together. Where I'm going to go now and fold that part. I fold it in twice, or you can weave it and fold it in only once. There's also going to be a tie there later on, so yeah, this is the piece that I'll be using for that. So I'll fold it into two. I want a slant at the edge of the tie, so I'm going to slant it like this. The length depends on you, how long you want it to be, but the width you can make it 5 inches. So by the time you fold into two and you sew half inch, you have about 2 inches width of band remaining. So I'll do that for the two. After sewing, I will turn it to the right side and I will iron. Next, now I am ironing this band, this pocket, I say pocket, this button extension. So I fold half inch, iron it down, and then fold again, making sure it stops at that center crease exactly. I will now use hemming gum to hold the piece in place before we go back and top stitch on the sewing machine. So we'll go and sew it like that. I also trim this part off. So this is it. If you notice that the part, the one on the right, is not looking the same, don't worry. I'm experimenting with that side of the shirt, but it doesn't affect you. Just do exactly what you did on the left hand side on the right one as well. So for this front piece now, after sewing that part, the next thing will be to mark the dart. So there's a dart in front. So starting from the center front, that's the actual center front. Just mark your dart out from there, your bust bar measurement divided by 2, and the length of the dart should be 1 inch below your bust point. Then down here, mark half inch on both sides and then connect back to that dart point like so. So you're going to do the same thing for the opposite part and then go sew it down like that. And then for the front, we are going to reduce it by half inch. So the idea of the 1 inch at the back is that you took out 1 inch from the front to add to the back, but because of seam allowances, we're only going to reduce it by half inch, which the back is going to make up for. So after sewing, this is what we have for the back. I have hemmed it. This is the tie. The tie will be added below here, but that will be after we have finished hemming the lower part of the top. So next step now is to join the front and the back together at the shoulder. So placing them right sides together, we are going to go sew the shoulders using 1/2 inch. After sewing the shoulders, we'll also go ahead and hem the armhole, just fold it in. So it's better to weave it first, then fold it in once. That way it is properly relaxed. So after that, this is what we have. The armhole is nice. The shoulders are joined and ironed smoothly. Next, we'll go and sew the sides together. Remember, we added 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. So we'll just go now and sew that 1.5 inch all the way down. And the top is also free, so it doesn't really have to be your fitted measurement except you want it that way. So just use 1.5 inch, go sew it down, after which I will hem the lower part and then I will attach the tie like I said earlier. Next is time to attach the collar. So I'm measuring round this neck point. What I do is I measure round like this and then I measure again. If I don't have the same exact figure, I will measure again until I can measure it. I can get the same figure twice. That's when I'm sure that I have the width that I want, that is accurate. So here I am folding my paper stay into two for the collar. So when I measured, I got 17 inches. So I'm making sure that here I have half of that measurement folded into two. So 17 folded into two divided by 2 is 8.5. That's what I am marking now. So I'm marking all the way up so that this will accommodate the collar itself and the collar stand. So I'm just rolling that up like so. That way we know that this is the box we are working with. Okay, so for the collar stand, we are going to mark 1 inch. So from that line we drew as a guide, we'll mark 1 inch up, use my ruler and connect it like so. And then we are going to get half or the midpoint of this 8.5. So I just folded my tape like so to get the midpoint. I just made a mark both on the upper line and on the lower line. So on the upper part, I'll go up by 1/2 inch, and then on the lower line, I also went up by 1/2 inch. I connected that 1/2 inch back to the midpoint. The same thing for the upper part, I connected it back to the midpoint. So this is it for the collar stand. You can also curve that corner, but I didn't do any curving in this tutorial. So this is it here. Just I'm writing up here so that I know by the time I cut it, I know that this is the part that is supposed to be up. So next I'm going to rule another starting line all the way to the side to mark out the collar. So the collar I marked 2 inches, then I marked the same 2 inches on this side, then I connected into a straight line. Then on this open end I came in by 1 inch, and then I connected back in a slant like so to the top. Then down here I went up by 1/2 inch, and then I connected that 1/2 inch back to this opposite end, but I used a slightly curved ruler to draw that line instead of just making it straight. So this is it. Like I said, you can go ahead and curve the collar part starting from that 1 inch how you want it to be, but I wanted this one square, so I left it that way. Now it's time to cut. So this is the collar and this is the collar stand. This is it. So you can curve the corners of that collar stand if that's the look you are going for. It's completely fine. I went ahead to cut it on two pieces, and as you can see, I added ½ inch of allowance all around the collar pieces. So next I'll go down and sew the collar itself round very close to that stay all the way around, after which I will cut off the corners, then turn it to the right side and go and iron it very smoothly. So after ironing it smooth, the next thing now is to sew the collar stand over it. So I'll place it like so. See that part we wrote up? That's the part that we are going to sew to the collar. So I'm matching the midpoints together. I'm placing it such that the two pieces of the collar itself is sitting in between the two pieces of the collar stand. So I match them at the middle, pin them together, and then I'll go and sew around very close to the paper, and then after which I will cut off the excess and also the corners, and then I'll turn it back to the right side and iron it nicely. After that, it's time to attach it to the shirt. So I'm going to place it like so. Only one piece of the collar. We are going to go sew it round the neck using ½ inch. After sewing, we'll push the raw edges in and then fold over the top piece like so, and then go back and top stitch again. After that, this crop shirt is ready. Thank you guys for watching. Please, if you have any questions, I'll be in the comment section to answer all of them. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Bye.